not only our program, but our student athletes, our university. I appreciate that. Really big weekend here in our community for a lot of reasons. Obviously, we are honoring, to me, what is pure and true about our sport of college football, in the remembrance of the 75 game. To me, these are the type of weekends and events, acknowledgments, ceremonies, honoring. That is why we all love college sports. An event that happened years ago that ultimately changed the course of history for not only a university and a community, but all of college athletics. What was done in the wake of the plane crash ultimately allowed Marshall to continue playing football, but it also changed a rule, about freshmen being able to play and creating opportunities for others. So this weekend we honor all the men and women who sacrificed so that we could be in the seats we're in. I told the team yesterday, obviously the plane crash was a great opportunity to show the strength of this university and this community, but the Young Thundering Herd, because of them, because of the rebirth, we were able to sit in the chairs we're sitting in. I'm able to stand in this position, and we do not take that lightly. I'm excited to be a part of this weekend, a part of this game, a part of this weekend ceremony, what it means not only to Marshall and this community, but to all of the country. A lot of people know, respect, and cheer for Marshall University because of our resilience, because of our commitment to pressing forward. So it's a great opportunity for us this weekend. I told the team the way that you honor someone or a group is through your performance. The way you honor your mother is through your performance every day as a son or daughter. The way you honor your wife is through your performance every day as a husband. The way you honor your country is through your performance every day as a military member. And I think the way that this football team can honor the 75 is through our performance on Saturday. So we are very excited about the opportunity, excited to also be playing the Conference USA champs. Until someone dethrones them, that's the title they've earned, and that's the title and the respect that we'll give them. Coach Clark, I know obviously from being in Alabama, has done a phenomenal job with this program, with his players, his coaches. He's an upstanding guy. I've respected him from afar, being at the University of Alabama, and what he was able to do and what he's able to continue to do at UAB. Very good team that's coming in here. Phenomenal defense. Very stout against the run. Got a lot of respect for all their players. I think Noah Waller, their middle linebacker, does a phenomenal job. You can tell he's got unbelievable leadership skills. His play speaks for itself. They're probably the best run defense that we'll play this year up until this point. So it's going to be a challenge for us. It's going to be a challenge for us because we pride ourselves on being able to run the football. They pride themselves on being able to stop the run. So it's going to be a challenge. Offensively, as a running back coach, you got to have respect for how they run the ball, how their running backs run, how physical they are. Unbelievable body and balance control, breaking tackles. As a team, you can see that they thrive on being able to run the ball efficiently throughout the game. So it's going to be a challenge for our defense. Obviously, we pride ourselves, most defense in the country, you got to be able to stop the run. So being able to stop the run is going to be huge. Obviously, our fans and community will be behind us. So we're going to do everything we can this week to prepare so we can go out and get the results we are looking forward to this weekend. Last game, just a quick recap. Really proud of the way the guys fought. Going down the hostile environment. The weather was great, a little different than Huntington, but we brought some of it back with us. But going down the hostile environment and playing as a team, I think the last couple of weeks, the one consistent thing that we've done, although the things we got to clean up, we're playing really good complementary football right now. Offense, defense, special teams. No side is perfect, but we're all making plays when we need to make plays, or at some point we're able to kind of make some plays. I think special teams obviously started off with a bang. I'm not going to lie. The original call was for Jaden Harrison to shut it down so we could see what kind of formation they were going to run to make sure our blocking schemes were consistent. And when he took his first 2 steps, I said, what the hell is he doing? And 3 steps later, I said, run. So all of those things are great. Things we worked on in practice showed up in the game. Defensively, I thought as the game went on, we kind of settled down and got into a groove. Another week in a row, our defense has done a really good job of playing consistent bend, don't break defense. I think it's unrealistic to think that we're just going to go out and every play 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. But what we got to do is we got to be consistent. Our red zone defense is really good right now. We're forcing teams to kick field goals. And if you multiply by 7 and they multiply by 3, you got a chance to be really good. We're minimizing our missed tackles, although we had some early in the game, but as the game kind of settled down, we were able to tackle with a lot more consistency, which got us off the field. We were able to create some pressure on the quarterback. I think we ended up with 6 sacks. So, again, affecting the decision maker, making it tough for him to be able to distribute the ball, and I think he did a really good job of creating some plays with his feet. So we still got some things to clean up. They got a couple guys, I won't say behind us, but they got some deep balls that they had really good position on. Our guys were in position. Some of the balls were overthrown or dropped. But again, it's improvement. 4 weeks ago, whatever it was, App State, those were penalties for us. So although no, I don't want guys behind us or places where we're counting on a guy to drop a ball, but I want our defenders to be able to play with a lot more technique, which I think we're starting to see. Those were penalties that were turned into big first downs, a couple weeks ago. So our guys are getting better. Offensively, we got to we've minimized. I'm pounding the table to eliminate the turnovers, but we've minimized them. We were a lot more explosive. We got to clean up some penalty things. I think we had 2 penalties that probably took points off the board, which changes the game drastically. But we were able to bounce back. We were able to move the ball, get some explosive plays, and come away with a victory. So a lot to learn from. I'm pleased with the progress this team is making. I think we still got to continue to harp on the things that ultimately help you be successful long term. But these coaches are working their tails off. These players are working their tails off. And we got to focus on the things we need to do this week to have success. So, Chuck, I see you got your Browns hat on now. You're just like a Browns fan, man. You guys start winning, and all of a sudden you guys come back out just that fast, man.
Oh, no, I've been out all the time. Don't give me that.
Good. With that, I'll open up with questions.
Coach, it's an emotional week, obviously, as you outlined. You've got the 75 game. You've got the defending champions coming in, to Jones C. Edwards. The team beat Marshall last year. How are you channeling all that potential emotion, all of that energy into something that you can use instead of, they beat us last year, or just the emotional weight of the week?
Yeah, well, I think it's very challenging because as a football coach, you want to eliminate all the distractions, right? You want to eliminate all the outside noise. No game is bigger than the other. You want them to focus on the things we need to do to get the results we want. But I do understand the importance of recognizing what this game means to not only this community, but this university and our team. So you got to balance it. You got to balance the understanding. You got to balance the emotion of it. But you ultimately got to get you guys to understand it's going to come down to execution. Whether we're wearing black uniforms, white uniforms, whatever, it's going to come down to execution. Now, what we can do is we can use the emotion, the importance of this game to help us have more focus on the things we need to do to get the results we want. I think as you move farther into the season, I told the team this a couple of weeks ago, our window of opportunity is closing. Naturally, right? You're only going to play 10 whatever games. So as you get to this point in the season, whether we were undefeated or didn't have a win, our opportunities as a team are closing. And when that happens, your focus has got to narrow so that you can maximize those opportunities. So I think it's a balancing act. As coaches, you normally try and eliminate all the outside noise. This game isn't bigger than the last game and anything like that. But I do think from a history and a understanding of where we are and who we are, acknowledging the importance of this game to the people that support us is important.
Coach, along those lines, with some of your upperclassmen, they kind of, we see them on social media, we hear them talking about the significance of this week. They've played so well in this game. Do you almost give them a little leeway to say, you guys know what's at stake? You know how to handle the emotion and the significance of this one, and sort of let them help you too to get through this?
Yeah, I told them, Sunday when we kind of discussed the week and we went through our cleanup points from the game and the good, bad, and ugly film and, the scouting report. And I told them, I said, this is an opportunity for you guys to help teach me and the other coaches how you guys manage this week. From a scheduling standpoint, you guys know the routine. So when we practice, when we meet, that. But from a understanding of what this week means and how you go about this week, this is an opportunity for you guys to take ownership and leadership. We're blessed enough to have, obviously with the COVID, we have a lot of older guys on the team. So I told them, I said, we're going to lean on your leadership, just like we did in the summer when you guys were running your own practices and having your own meetings. This is an opportunity for those leadership qualities to stand up for not only this game, but what this weekend means, to everyone connected to Marshall University. Friday, on our way to the hotel, we're going to stop by the cemetery as a team again, just to make sure everyone truly takes 5 minutes to really, pay their respects. I'm going to tell them to make a commitment to the 75. What is your commitment? Hey, I'm going to commit to play with everything I have. I'm going to commit to play as disciplined as I can. I'm going to commit to execute, whatever that is. Saturday morning, I'm going to go to the crash site at sunrise. One, for me to pay my respects. Two, for me to truly understand and take in the moment, because once the game starts, you really don't get a chance to, really grasp all of it after the game. You will. But for me to kind of take in the moment, this is something that I'm excited to be a part of. I've coached in a lot of meaningful games, whiteout at Penn State, LSU, Alabama, national championship, SEC championship, Big Ten championship, Thursday night football, Monday night football. I've coached in a lot of meaningful games, but this carries a little more weight. And I want to make sure that I fully understand, respect, and handle the importance that this game has to so many people. And then obviously you guys know Sunday we'll have the ceremony at the fountain where the whole team will be there, and the rest of the administration and the community. So the weekend is kind of planned out to make sure that, one, we balance both. But ultimately we're going to have to lean on our leaders.
Hey, Coach, special teams, something you brought up earlier. Obviously, the big play on Saturday to open the game. We've seen a couple of real nice plays in the kick return throughout the year. And I know it's more than just kick returns, but punting's been pretty solid. Kicking's been all right. Just tell us about the job that Coach Springer has done with that group this year. We haven't got to talk to the assistants really since early in the year. So just curious, from your perspective on the inside, what's he been doing to put them in good positions?
Yeah, I've known Coach Springer for a real long time. He's worked under some of the best in this business. That's how I kind of met him. And when I hired him, I knew what he could do. Obviously, it takes time. You get a third of the time of special teams than you do offense, defense. And it's not like broken up. Hey, you're going to be offense and defense for 90% of whatever period, meetings or whatever. So you're trying to, and I've been a special teams coordinator, you're trying to get 1/3 of the game taught in a less of the time. So it takes time. A lot of these guys had not played special teams in some of the roles that we were putting them in. So it takes time. It takes time to flip in space. It takes time to understand the lingo. Part of when you switch systems, some of the language barriers that we use as coaches, that we, if I was a reporter, there are some things that you guys say that every reporter kind of understands. Well, I wouldn't understand that if I just rolled into your office. It would take me a while to understand that. And that's some of the things on special teams, defense, and offense that takes some time. Front to back, inside out leverage, cut the wide side of the field. Like, those are things that it takes time to understand exactly what a coach is trying to get you to do. And I think what you've seen in our special teams is our investment consistently over time is starting to pay off. The other part of it is, as coaches, when you evaluate players, okay, yeah, he's big, he's tall, he can run. Well, can he run in space? Can he flip his hips? Can he keep leverage, ball me man leverage? You know what I mean? Those are things that take time as coaches to make sure we get the guys in the right position, for them to get an understanding of what the position holds. Everybody knows what the running back position is, the quarterback position. These guys have been playing it since they were 5. Very few of them go out in the backyard and say, I'm the L5 on kickoff. Hey, I'm in the backyard, we're playing football, but I'm going to be the right guard on punt here. I'm going to be the all-time long snapper, okay? That's what I'm going to be. So these are things that take time. And I think Coach Springer has done a phenomenal job of teaching slowly and not letting the result affect the process of teaching. I think sometimes that happens with coaches. Hey, we're not playing well, we got to change this. Hey, we're not playing well, we got to change this. And he's really done a good job of allowing the guys to grow into their roles and then doing a good job of putting them consistently in places where they can kind of learn on the run.
Coach, obviously this is a new year. You guys have, a newer coaching staff and everything. But last year, this game was, there's emotions that come with it because they lost last year. And we talked to Grant, earlier this morning. And last year, he kind of ended that game in the post-game press conference. He was saying, it was all on him. And he had a really bad performance in the first half and stuff like that. Have you had any conversations with Grant about last year and about looking towards, forward to this game? And how much time are you guys spending actually looking at last year's film?
No, to answer your first part of the question, I have not. I have not looked at last year's film. It's a different team. Every year is a different team. Every year is a different group. Even this team, 10 years from now, when I'm still the head coach here, will be a different team. Will we look similar, from a schematic standpoint? Yeah, but we're a different team. I don't know what happened last year. I mean, obviously I know the score. I mean, obviously that, but we don't go back and watch. UAB is a different team. They've got different players and they've got more mature players. So no, very similar to all the other games that we've played played last year. Different team. So I try not to live too much in the past because I don't have enough information to say, well, if you had did this, then this. I don't know what the coaches were telling them. I don't know, where their mental energy was for the game. I don't know where their health was I don't know. So we just try to focus on the things we can do to get the results we want. Obviously, am I naive enough to think that with 20 some odd seniors and another 15 returners that they don't remember, this game? I'm sure they do. But ultimately, nothing that happened last year is going to help us play better on Saturday. So we got to focus on our process. We got to focus on our goals. We got to focus on where we are as a team. And then ultimately we got to go out and execute on Saturday. And from that, hopefully we'll be able to reload and do the same thing next week.
Coach, when you look at the offense this year, one thing that I feel like Ramsey has done is really incorporated check down routes. Obviously, Rasheen is a very talented back out of the backfield within the pass game, too. But what have you seen as the biggest growth within that as the season's gone on, as far as the chemistry that Grant and Rasheen have within, that whether it's chip blocking and getting out of the backfield or whatever, like both of their growths as far as the check down route, which could be pivotal this week?
Yeah, I think one, when you're a quarterback, you want to throw the ball. Right, so when you're not able to throw the ball multiple times, you feel like when you do throw it, you got to really chuck it down the field. So you probably skip over, the efficiency of a play to try and do what you love to do, throw the ball. Another part of that is when you do check it down and the running back or the tight end or whatever the check down route is goes and makes a big play for you, it's like, oh, well, I got 60 yards and I only had to throw it 4. Oh, that works. So I think it's continuity. I think it's a little bit of a change in our system. Our system is built a little bit different than it was last year. Our system is built to get more guys out in the routes. The more guys out, the more guys they got to cover. You think the more guys you keep in, the better your protection. Well, the more guys you keep in, the less guys they have to cover. I think our O-line is doing a better job. Grant has not got hit that much this year, which allows him to get through his progressions without feeling like, hey, if I don't go to 1 to 2, I got to get rid of this ball. And I think Grant's growing. I think, over time, quarterbacks mature, players mature. He understands the game better. Part of my reason for keeping Coach Cramsey on board was obviously our past relationship, but in order to have consistency, the system's got to stay the same. So Grant knows a little more about the system. You look back, everybody was like ready to bury us because our defense wasn't playing great the first 2 games. Well, it's a new system. So now you got new terminology, you got new adjustments. Our offense played a little better earlier in the year, again, because you had a little continuity. When the play was called, they knew the adjustments, they knew those types of things. So I think it's a little bit of growth by Grant, part of his maturity as a quarterback. I think, again, it's part of the success that we've had, once we do check it down. And I think it's a little bit knowing that, hey, this is not my last throw for the quarter. I can check it down and we're still going to sling it another 50 times. So I think all of those things combined is adding to the consistency and growth of our offense.
But you mentioned UAB's run game in your comments earlier, just specifically with that running back. He was really, really good. I got to watch a good bit of that Louisiana Tech game on Saturday. Just as an old running backs coach, what do you see out of him specifically?
Yeah, the guy's real. Okay, and I've told the defense he's real. He's really good. He runs with good pad level. He's got unbelievable body and balance control. I mean, he gets hit and he stays on the move. Does a really good job of keeping his shoulders square. He does not run looking to lay down. He runs looking to move forward. And it's going to be a challenge for us. We're going to have to rally to the football. We're going to have to tackle. We're not going to be able to just throw a shoulder at this guy or take a lunge at him. The guy's real. And probably, I can't think back all the way, but probably the best running back we've played this year for his skill set. I thought the guy last week, number 5, had a different skill set, presented different challenges. But this guy's real. So, and our defense knows it. This is not going to be a game where we just kind of, blow on the guy and he falls over and, everybody cheers. No, we're going to have to rally. We're going to have to tackle him often, early, and consistent. It ain't going to be, we hit him behind the line one play and all of a sudden he taps out. It's not going to happen. It's going to be 60 minutes of form, fit, follow through, run your feet, everybody rally. Put your hand back in the dirt, form, fit, follow through, everybody rally. Put your hand back in the dirt, form, fit, follow through, everybody rally. For 60 minutes. The guy's real. And we know it. I don't know where they found the guy, but Coach Clark did a great job recruiting him, and they are using him to his strengths. He's doing a really good job of that.
Anything else?
All good, Coach.
Good?
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Well, again, I appreciate you guys. Really looking forward to this weekend. All the fans that are taking part in this weekend. This is something special for college football. We got an opportunity to show the world what is still pure and true about our game of college football. And this weekend, I hope we do a really good job of doing that on the field, off the field, and in this whole community. So thank you guys again, and go Herd.